Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. Every woman has a certain energy, a presence, a vibration that speaks before she even opens her mouth. Some women walk into a room and people just turn to look, not because of the clothes, not because of the makeup, but because of the way she carries herself. That quiet confidence, that glow that says she knows who she is. That energy is magnetic. And when you learn to live in that energy, men don't just see you, they feel you. They think about you when you're gone. They can't explain it, but they can't forget it. That is the power of being like a magnet. Being magnetic doesn't mean chasing. It doesn't mean begging for attention. It means standing so firm in your worth that attention naturally flows to you. It means you've mastered the art of not forcing anything. You don't convince anyone to choose you. You don't compete for love. You attract it by being aligned with who you truly are. When you walk in that kind of self-assurance, you become unforgettable. Because men are used to women who try to please, not women who simply are. And magnetism starts with energy, not looks, not status. Energy, it's the tone of your voice. It's the way you smile when you're not trying too hard. It's the peace you bring into a conversation. It's the boundaries you hold when someone tests you. A man can't explain why he feels drawn to you, but he feels safe, intrigued, challenged, and calm all at once. That's because your energy tells him, this woman doesn't need me to feel complete. She's already complete. She's just choosing to share her light. And that drives him crazy in the best way. See, men are not magnetized by perfection. They are magnetized by presence. You don't have to look like a model. You don't have to talk a certain way. But you do have to be authentic. Authenticity is the real glow up. When you stop pretending to be who you think men want and start being who you actually are, everything changes. You laugh differently. You speak differently. You move differently. Your energy becomes lighter because you're no longer performing. That's when you become magnetic, because you're real, and real is rare. A magnetic woman has standards that don't bend. She knows that saying. No doesn't make her difficult. It makes her disciplined. She knows that walking away doesn't make her cold. It makes her clear. A woman who stands firm in her boundaries instantly earns respect because men are drawn to clarity. They might not admit it, but they admire a woman who knows what she will and won't tolerate. Boundaries aren't walls. They're filters. They let in what aligns and block what doesn't. And when you filter your energy, you stop attracting chaos. Magnetic women know how to keep mystery alive, not by playing games, but by not overexposing every part of themselves too soon. They understand that curiosity builds attraction. You don't need to post every emotion on social media. You don't need to explain every decision. Leave room for discovery. Leave room for imagination. When a man feels like there's always something more to learn about you, he stays engaged. He keeps showing up because he feels like he's still exploring a treasure. Mystery is not manipulation, it's maturity. To be magnetic, you must master your emotions, not suppress them, master them. Because emotional control is power. A woman who can stay composed when others lose their temper stands out. When you can speak calmly instead of reacting impulsively, you disarm ego. You shift the energy in the room. You show that you're not easily shaken. Men respect that because strength wrapped in grace is irresistible. It's not about being unfeeling. It's about not giving chaos permission to dictate your peace. That's magnetic. Confidence is your perfume, not arrogance. Confidence, the quiet assurance that says, I know I'm enough. You don't need to announce it. You just radiate it. When you walk with self-respect, people treat you differently. When you talk with conviction, people listen. Confidence comes from integrity. When your actions match your words. When you honor your promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and you do it, you build trust within yourself. That trust is what creates unshakable confidence. And that confidence is what men feel when you walk by. Magnetic energy also means feminine energy. Feminine energy isn't weakness. It's softness mixed with strength. It's the balance of being nurturing yet firm, gentle yet powerful. The world celebrates hustle, but magnetism celebrates flow. Feminine energy receives. It doesn't chase. It attracts. It listens deeply. It moves with intuition. When you tap into your femininity, you become irresistible because you remind men of peace. And peace is something every man secretly craves. When he feels calm around you, he wants to stay. A magnetic woman doesn't rush connections. She lets them unfold. She doesn't panic when someone pulls away because she knows what's meant for her will circle back. She doesn't beg for effort. She mirrors it. She doesn't need to manipulate outcomes because she's not afraid of being alone. She knows that solitude is not punishment. It's preparation. That calm confidence in her detachment makes her powerful because desperation repels, but self-assurance attracts. Men remember women who make them feel, not women who only look good. When you connect with a man emotionally, when you make him laugh, when you challenge him to grow, when you bring peace to his chaos, that's when he stays. Emotional connection is magnetic. It's what separates a moment from a memory. When you make a man feel seen, understood, and respected, you occupy a space in his heart no one else can reach. He might not even realize it at first, but he'll find himself thinking about you without knowing why. That's the magnet working. Magnetic women are grounded. They don't compete with other women. They collaborate because they know that comparison drains energy. They celebrate others because they're secure in their own shine. That kind of maturity radiates. People want to be around someone who feels abundant, not desperate. When you celebrate others' wins, you attract your own. Because your energy says, I'm not threatened. I'm inspired. That's the difference between insecurity and confidence. One chases attention. The other attracts respect. A magnetic woman speaks with intention. She doesn't gossip. She doesn't complain about what she can change. She speaks power into her life. Words are energy. And a woman who uses her words to uplift instead of tear down naturally attracts better experiences. When you speak with purpose, you attract purposeful people. When you speak with gratitude, you attract abundance. When you speak with kindness, you attract peace. Men notice that because wisdom wrapped in warmth is irresistible. A magnetic woman knows how to listen. Really listen. She doesn't interrupt to prove a point. She listens to understand. She pays attention. She remembers the details. When a man feels heard, he feels valued. Most people don't listen to connect. They listen to reply. But a magnetic woman listens with empathy. She knows silence can be more powerful than advice. That's why conversations with her feel healing. That's why men open up to her. She becomes a safe space in a world full of noise. To be magnetic, you must love yourself deeply, not in a surface-level way, but in a way that honors your time, your dreams, and your peace. Self-love is not selfish, it's necessary. When you love yourself, you set the tone for how others love you. You stop begging for crumbs because you're too full to settle. You stop waiting for validation because you validate yourself. You stop chasing closure because you give it to yourself. Self-love makes you glow differently. It makes you walk away from what doesn't serve you without guilt. And that glow is magnetic. A magnetic woman is unpredictable in the best way. Not dramatic, dynamic. She keeps evolving. She's not the same person she was 6 months ago because she's always growing. Growth is attractive because it keeps relationships alive. A man never gets bored with a woman who keeps discovering new sides of herself. Her confidence evolves. Her interests expand. Her energy matures. That evolution keeps him engaged because he feels like he's walking beside a woman who's going somewhere. And men respect direction. Magnetic women don't over-explain. They don't argue with disrespect. They don't chase understanding from those determined to misunderstand them. Their peace is too precious to waste. They know that silence is sometimes the most powerful response because silence communicates strength. When you stop reacting to everything, you regain control. People start adjusting their behavior because they realize they can't shake your peace. That's magnetic power, the ability to influence without force. Magnetism also comes from gratitude. When you appreciate what you already have, you attract more, because gratitude raises your frequency. It tells the universe you're ready for abundance. People feel that positivity. Men feel it too. Being around a grateful woman is refreshing because she doesn't drain energy. She adds to it. She's not focused on lack. She's focused on love. She's not complaining about what's missing. She's celebrating what's present. That mindset is magnetic. A magnetic woman doesn't settle for temporary attention. She attracts lasting respect. She doesn't need constant reassurance because her validation comes from within. She knows that the right man won't make her chase peace. He'll bring peace. She doesn't fall for potential. She falls for consistency. She doesn't confuse effort with energy. She pays attention to patterns, not promises, because she's learned that what keeps a man isn't how much you give him. It's how much he values what you give. That understanding keeps her grounded, and that grounded energy keeps him chasing. Magnetic energy isn't about being perfect all the time. It's about being aware of your energy all the time. You can't control how others see you, but you can control what you radiate. You can choose calm over chaos, grace over drama, confidence over fear. Every time you make those choices, your magnetism grows stronger because your vibration gets clearer. You start attracting people who match your energy instead of drain it. That's the real secret. Alignment attracts alignment. The truth is, men are not hard to understand. They are emotional beings too. They may not always express it, but they are drawn to peace, kindness, confidence, and authenticity. They crave a woman who knows her worth but doesn't weaponize it, who is soft but not weak, who is loving but not narrow-veined, who is confident but not arrogant. When you master that balance, you become unforgettable because you are not performing love, you are embodying it. Magnetic women walk away from what confuses them. They don't beg for closure, they create it. They don't stay where they are tolerated. They go where they are valued. They don't chase the unavailable. They invest in themselves until the available shows up. Their strength doesn't come from dominance. It comes from detachment. They know that anything they lose by walking away was never truly theirs. That level of emotional maturity is magnetic because it radiates peace and certainty. Men don't forget magnetic women because they make them feel something real, something rare, something grounding. A magnetic woman doesn't chase validation. She gives inspiration. She doesn't compete for attention. She commands respect. She doesn't force love. She flows with it. Her energy lingers long after she leaves the room because she moved with intention. And once a man experiences that kind of energy, he knows he'll never find it again easily. That's why he never truly leaves, because the magnet doesn't need to pull. It just exists, and everything meant for it finds its way back. So be like a magnet, calm, confident, centered. Don't chase, attract. Don't beg, believe. Don't lower your energy to meet anyone. Rise and let them meet you there. Because the moment you become magnetic, you stop wondering if you're enough and start realizing you've always been the standard. Every woman has an energy that speaks louder than her words. It's the silent aura that enters the room before she does. The way she walks, the way she carries herself, the calm in her eyes, the peace in her presence. It's the way she knows who she is and doesn't have to prove it. That's the essence of being magnetic. When a woman understands her power, she doesn't chase attention, she commands it. She doesn't force love, she attracts it. She doesn't beg to be seen, she becomes unforgettable by simply being. The kind of woman whose presence lingers in a man's mind long after she's gone. Not because she did something loud or dramatic, but because she carried herself with quiet confidence that could be felt across the room. That's what magnetism truly is. A magnetic woman doesn't depend on validation to feel valuable. She already knows her worth. She doesn't need likes, compliments, or constant reassurance to believe she's enough. Her energy says it all. She moves through life with self-trust. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see flaws, she sees growth. When things don't go her way, she doesn't panic, she pauses. She knows her power isn't in control but in composure. That calm confidence makes her radiant. Men can sense it. It's not about appearance, it's about vibration. It's the difference between someone trying to impress and someone who simply is. A man can feel when a woman is centered. He feels it in the tone of her voice, the softness of her gaze, the way she listens. He feels drawn to her because she's not competing. She's not comparing. She's not trying to prove anything. Her peace makes him curious. Her self-control makes him respectful. Her silence feels deeper than someone else's words. That's the kind of presence men crave but can't describe. It's emotional maturity mixed with softness, and it's rare. That rarity is what makes her magnetic. She doesn't chase anyone, not because she's arrogant, but because she's aligned. She believes that what's meant for her won't need to be chased. She doesn't run after potential. She values consistency. She doesn't cling to people who confuse her. She invests in those who bring clarity. She doesn't lower her standards to keep someone close. She raises her energy and lets them rise if they want to stay. Her love doesn't beg. Her love doesn't demand. It inspires, it challenges, it elevates. A magnetic woman understands balance. She knows how to be soft without being weak. She knows how to be independent without being distant. She knows how to be strong without losing her tenderness. She knows that strength isn't loud, it's silent confidence. The ability to stay calm when others lose control. The power to respond instead of react. The grace to walk away without bitterness. That kind of balance confuses men because it's not what they're used to. They expect drama, but she gives peace. They expect neediness, but she gives space. They expect games, but she gives authenticity. She doesn't reveal everything about herself too quickly. She understands that mystery is not manipulation, it's maturity. She lets people earn the right to know her, not because she's hiding, but because she values her depth. She knows that oversharing too soon dilutes connection. She understands that attraction grows in curiosity. When a man feels there's more to discover, he stays engaged. He keeps coming back because she makes him feel like he's still exploring something sacred. Her magnetism isn't based on how loud she is, but how grounded she is. She doesn't talk over people to be heard. She speaks when she has something meaningful to say. Her silence isn't empty. It's powerful because silence makes people pay attention. When she does speak, her words carry weight because they come from intention. She doesn't gossip or tear others down. She uses her words to heal, not to harm. That's why people feel better after talking to her. Her voice becomes a safe place. A magnetic woman's confidence is quiet but undeniable. It's in the way she walks into a room without looking for approval. It's in the way she smiles because she's content, not because she's trying to please. Confidence is not arrogance. It's self-respect in motion. It's knowing your worth without announcing it. When a woman carries that kind of confidence, people can't help but notice. She doesn't have to be the loudest or the most glamorous. Her presence alone demands respect. She also knows how to be grateful. Gratitude is part of her magnetism. She doesn't focus on what she lacks. She focuses on what she has. Gratitude gives her a glow that no filter can create. It shifts her energy from scarcity to abundance, and abundance attracts abundance. People want to be around someone who radiates positivity. Men especially feel that difference. They feel drawn to women who appreciate life instead of complaining about it. A grateful heart is magnetic because it creates peace, and peace is irresistible. She knows that love doesn't require losing herself. She doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. She doesn't pretend to be less capable, less smart, or less passionate to fit in. She embraces her full self, her mind, her beauty, her opinions, her dreams. She knows that the right person will never be intimidated by her light, only inspired by it. Her confidence gives permission for others to shine too. That's real empowerment. That's magnetic influence. A magnetic woman is emotionally intelligent. She knows that not every argument needs a reaction. She knows when to step back instead of step forward. She understands that peace is more powerful than proving a point. She can look at someone trying to provoke her and still choose composure. That restraint doesn't make her passive, it makes her powerful. Because self-control is the highest form of strength, men respect a woman who can stay calm under pressure. It shows depth, it shows discipline, it shows she's mastered herself. She doesn't let temporary emotions ruin permanent peace. She understands that emotional maturity isn't about feeling less, it's about feeling fully but responding wisely. She knows her worth isn't tied to how someone treats her. She knows rejection doesn't define her value. She understands that sometimes not getting what she wanted was protection. That kind of awareness keeps her grounded. It keeps her magnetic because she radiates wisdom instead of insecurity. A magnetic woman has a clear vision for her life. She doesn't wait for someone to give her direction. She has goals, dreams, and standards. Her ambition doesn't make her masculine. It makes her multidimensional. Men are drawn to women with purpose because purpose gives a woman a glow that beauty alone can't create. She's not sitting around waiting to be chosen. She's too busy choosing herself. She's too busy building, growing, and living. And that's exactly what makes her attractive. She treats others with kindness, not because she wants something in return, but because kindness is her nature. Her empathy makes people feel seen. She remembers small details. She pays attention. She listens with her heart. That kind of warmth can't be faked. It can't be taught. It's a reflection of someone who's healed. Her compassion makes her magnetic because people can feel that she's genuine. She doesn't chase validation through appearance, but she takes care of herself because she values her vessel. She dresses not to impress, but to express her energy. She takes care of her mind, her body, and her soul. She knows that self-care isn't vanity, it's respect. When she looks good, she feels good. When she feels good, she vibrates higher. When she vibrates higher, she attracts better experiences. That's the secret formula of feminine energy, alignment between inner peace and outer presentation. A magnetic woman doesn't beg to be chosen. She knows she's the prize, but not in an arrogant way, in a sacred way. She understands her value and refuses to discount it. She's not desperate to be loved because she already loves herself. That self-love creates a frequency that pulls the right kind of love toward her. Men can feel the difference between a woman who needs them and a woman who wants them. The first one drains. The second one inspires. She doesn't give everything too soon. She allows connection to build naturally. She understands that love is a marathon, not a sprint. She lets people reveal who they are over time instead of falling for potential. Her patience protects her peace. Her discernment keeps her heart safe. That's wisdom. That's power. She's not afraid to walk away from anything that costs her peace because she's learned that peace is not a luxury, it's a priority. She doesn't argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding her. She doesn't chase those who ignore her worth. She understands that distance is sometimes the loudest answer. Her silence teaches lessons that words never could. That's magnetic power. She lives with intention. Every move, every word, every decision has purpose. She doesn't live in reaction mode. She creates, she designs her life consciously. That clarity makes her irresistible because people can sense when someone knows who they are. Men especially are drawn to direction. They respect women who have vision because confidence without direction is chaos, but confidence with purpose is magnetic. A magnetic woman knows that real connection can't be forced. She lets energy flow naturally. If it feels heavy, she releases it. If it feels light, she nurtures it. She doesn't chase closure. She creates it within herself. She doesn't cling to endings. She embraces new beginnings. That surrender makes her powerful because it shows faith. Faith in herself. Faith in timing. Faith that what's meant for her will never pass her by. She keeps evolving. She refuses to stay stagnant. Every year, every challenge, every heartbreak becomes fuel for growth. She transforms pain into wisdom. She turns mistakes into lessons. She sees endings as redirections. That resilience gives her depth. Depth makes her unforgettable because real magnetism comes from experience, from living, learning, falling, rising, and still choosing love over bitterness. Her presence feels like calm in a chaotic world. People may not understand why they're drawn to her, but they feel better when she's around. Her laughter feels genuine. Her silence feels peaceful. Her energy feels healing. That's not coincidence. That's vibration. Her frequency is tuned to self-love, peace, and purpose. And energy doesn't lie. That's why she never has to chase what's meant for her. It finds her because she's magnetic.